All right, guys, our guest tonight is TNA superstar and indie wrestling sensation Davey Richards. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Great, man. Glad to be here.
Thanks, man. Listen, I hard sell you as best I can to start off the show. We are very legitimately excited to have you on, man. Big fans. Listen, you have a tag team championship match against the Bromans on this week's episode of Impact Wrestling. What would it mean to you and your team to win the titles heading into Sacrifice pay-per-view later this month, April 27th?
Well, I mean, everything. I mean, that's the whole reason we came to TNA was to be champions. We had a little taste of it, but unfortunately, we weren't the losing team. I guess we were the losing team by default, but we weren't the team that got pinned in Japan. So, we got a little taste that got taken away, before we even defend them once in the United States. So we're looking to get them back and, have a lengthy reign.
Mike Chiari?
Yeah, Davey, over the past several months, TNA's brought in a ton of new talent, like you, Eddie Edwards, EC3, MVP, guys like that. The fact that TNA seems to kind of be overhauling things a little bit, pressing the reset button to a certain extent, is that something that appealed to you when you decided to make the move to TNA?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a long talk with the office there, and, they gave us the rundown of, their plans and their restructuring and things like that. And, they thought and we agreed, and it's been proven, at least to us at least, that, they were right and we fit right in, and it's been a home run ever since. So it's going to, capitalize on that and keep it going.
BG?
Yeah, Davey, heading into a sacrifice, whenever they say the word sacrifice as a wrestling fan, I always think of legacies. I'm just interested in, 20, 30 years down the road, what would you like your legacy to be on the business?
Just, I don't know, just someone that tried to bring a light to the name pro wrestling. There's a lot of people in wrestling, as in any entertainment, that are just kind of out for themselves and shitty characters and just, people that I wouldn't consider personally good people, and when you see good people that work hard come out on top, like, Brian at WrestleMania or, me and Eddie Edwards, and then there's countless others, don't get me wrong. But it's good. It's well deserved, and, just someone to try to help other people and, inspired people and things like that, So if I can leave that, I mean, I'm not really concerned how much money I make or how much of a big star I become. More or less just, being someone that people can be inspired by and be motivated by would be, I guess my, thing I would like to leave behind when I'm gone.
Okay, listen, after leaving Ring of Honor, you worked a tryout with the WWE. You did some stuff with TNA. You chose TNA in that situation. Can you talk to us about that decision and if you think you made it was the best course of action for your career?
Yeah, I never really wanted to go to WWE. I mean, the tryout there was awesome. It was really fun. I can't say enough good things. I learned a lot. But, I mean, I told Eddie, I told two of the guys during the initial tryout with Eddie, I was like, this is not for me. You know what I mean? Just because me moving down to Orlando is not feasible to my life. And, wrestling is one of many things I want to do in life and that I enjoy doing in life. So for me to give up everything and just live in that world it's not my idea of a great life or a perfect life. And, to each their own, man, but TNA, offers me that I can be able to wrestle with some of the best wrestlers in the world. I can, be on television. I can go and I can, entertain crowds, and I can still come home and, be Wes. I can be Davey, and then I can be Wes. So it works out better for me. And, yeah, and of course, I can be happier in TNA. It's been great. It's actually been better than I thought it was going to be, which is, I had pretty high, hopes going in. So it's been really good, man. It's been really awesome.
Mike Chiari?
Yeah, Davey, you mentioned before Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. WrestleMania occurred last night. Biggest news in professional wrestling right now, I think, is the Undertaker's streak ending. And as someone in the business, what are your impressions of the decision to end the vaunted streak?
I mean, records are made to be broken. That's the biggest thing. People, no matter what thing you do, when a big change occurs, a lot of people would kind of crap on it just because, change is scary. But, the guy, I read something online that was like, he chose it and, he looked like an old guy in the ring. Jesus Christ, the guy's been around forever, done everything. And, the guy's made a ton of money. He has a legacy, and apparently he's an awesome character that will live forever. I don't think he went home and started crying. I'm sure, I'm pretty good. He's, he's not in the poorhouse. He's loving life. So it was what it was. I think they could have picked a better guy to end the record. But then again, I don't work there, so it's like, hey, man, good for both of them.
BG?
Yeah, Dave, you touched on scheduling a little bit earlier. What do you find to be, maybe it is scheduling and traveling, but what do you find to be the most difficult part of the wrestling business?
For me, traveling, definitely. I mean, like, wrestling, whether it be amateur or pros, always come very easy to me. And it was never that difficult for me. And so, like, dealing with that, just traveling, like being away from my fiance is really hard on me, and being away from my crazy little dog, and I'm just a homebody. I'm kind of like, I'm really antisocial, I guess the best way to describe it. So me always traveling, having to be around people, it's difficult. You know what I mean? But I mean, I love meeting the fans, and then they're awesome people, and they inspire us and motivate us. But I'm a homebody at heart, so that's why TNA is perfect. So I can have a good balance of both.
And one of the biggest differences between Ring of Honor and the indie scene in general, as compared to TNA, WWE, the bigger companies in the world, is the focus on backstage segments and promos. As someone known for their elite in-ring ability, have you found the transition to more on-screen talking segments difficult?
No, not for me personally, because me and Eddie are just, it's me and Eddie on TV. If we were brought in to be, someone else, and I would probably struggle with it big time. But I mean, just because the only thing that's actually changed at all is that we don't have American in our name anymore. For me, it's not been too bad at all. So I've just been able to be me. But I mean, we'll see how, and that may change. You never know. So we'll see what happens. But so far, yeah, not been a problem at all. And you have a lot better coaches in TNA too. There's no one backstage giving anyone any guidance, or I'm sorry, there's no one backstage in Ring of Honor giving anyone any guidance. So you're kind of just like, well, I think this is right. I'm going with it. It's kind of the blind leading the blind.
That's a fair point. Mike Chiari?
Davey, you mentioned before you like to kind of stay in one spot, but something that TNA has been seemingly trying to settle on in recent months is whether to keep Impact on the road or stick with a home base like Universal Studios. For somebody like you, if they decided they have to go on the road and in order to sustain themselves, is that something that you'd be okay with? Would you support something like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, because to me, it's not a big deal because I'm still, have my few days at home and my few days on the road. Whether I go to Orlando or I don't know, Toledo. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. And plus, I think get on the road, it kind of bring our message to the people. You know what I mean? So it'd be cool. Different towns have different audiences. Different audiences give the show different feels. So it would be cool. So I'd totally be with it.
BG?
Yeah, Davey, you've been teaming with Eddie for a long time, and now that you're in TNA, it's a new audience that gets to see you. But after teaming with Eddie for so long, are you itching to break away as a singles competitor, or are you now rejuvenated that you get to work in front of a different audience and on TV?
I mean, obviously, like I want to be, world champion, down the road when it's right. But as of right now, in the foreseeable future, completely rejuvenated, completely putting all my stock into the Wolves, and I know Eddie is too. So there will come a time when we both want to have our singles runs, and that's to be expected. And there'll come a time when people don't want to see the Wolves anymore; they want to see Eddie Edwards and or Davey Richards. So but right now it's definitely all about the Wolves.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to piggyback on that because you're a tag team wrestler in TNA towards your later Ring of Honor run. Everybody knew you for the American Wolves, but you're one of the most decorated individual champions in the world. You're a Ring of Honor champion, PWG, New Japan. You're one of the top guys in the world. I know that you said it's in your far off future, but you could probably win a world title sooner than that. Is that something you're going to start thinking about sooner? Is that something you'd like to do sooner rather than later?
It's something I definitely want to do, and it's something I definitely know I can do, and I will do. But to be honest with you, right now, I'm just concentrating on getting the tag team belts. To be honest with you. Okay,
Mike Chiari?
Davey, having had so much success on the independent scene over the years, you've obviously gotten to work with a lot of talented guys. Who's one wrestler that you either enjoyed working with or just really respect that you'd like to maybe see in TNA at some point alongside you and Eddie?
Michael Elgin. I definitely would like to see Michael Elgin in TNA. You never know. You just might. So I'll kind of leave that at that. But that's the one person I've always had a ton of fun working. I have a lot of respect for, and I think would fit in very well there. So,
yeah, we talked to Michael Elgin. We talked to Michael Elgin many times. He was one of the best wrestlers in the world. You guys had a 5-star match. Was it 2 years ago, in 2013 maybe? It was awesome. It was absolutely one of the best matches we've ever seen. So that would be awesome. That's all the questions we have. Davey, please, thank you for coming on the show. Please tell everybody where they can find you and where they can order your merchandise and all that stuff.
We just got a new T-shirt out, so you can go to ImpactWrestling.com. You can follow me in my crazy life on Twitter @RichardsWesley. So, yeah, follow me and jump aboard my crazy life. Or boring to some, depending which side of the boat you're on, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, Tag Team Championship match this Thursday on Impact Wrestling. Sacrifice pay-per-view April 27th. Go catch all that stuff. Thanks again, Davey, for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.